Hello everyone. Today we are going to give demo on a tool called OpenShift. OpenShift is a platform as a service provided by Red Hat which allows the developers to quickly develop, deploy and scale applications in cloud environment. When I say PaaS or platform as a service, it's a cloud application platform that runs on the top of infrastructure as a service and hosts SaaS or software as a service applications. OpenShift basically uses Git, a software versioning platform, to deploy our code. So in order to explore the tool more, we'll go into www.openshift.com. OpenShift comes with 3 different versions for each type of cloud, that is public cloud, private cloud and community cloud. OpenShift for public cloud or public PaaS is called as OpenShift Online, OpenShift Enterprise for private PaaS and OpenShift Origin for community PaaS. OpenShift Online allows us to scale applications in public cloud. In order to use it, we just need to sign up for free in the OpenShift website. Enterprise is a private SaaS product which runs on our servers or private cloud. It is basically used by the companies which need to host their applications in their own data center. In order to use Enterprise OpenShift, we need to request for a free evaluation period of 30 days and then we can sign up for the pricing packages. And OpenShift Origin is an open source PaaS project which can run on our laptop, servers, private cloud or public. This is the architecture of OpenShift. As I said, it's a PaaS which resides on the IaaS infrastructure as a service and we have so many nodes and broker. Nodes are the set of instances where our end user applications will reside and multiple nodes are managed by OpenShift brokers that serve as PaaS management engine coordinating the orchestration and customization. OpenShift uses CG or control group subsystem to allocate computer resources. Now we'll try to find out the developer workflow of the application. The first thing you do when you sign up for an OpenShift tool is to create an application. So whenever you create an application, you will be assigned a GARE. GARE is a resource constrained container for your application. So after creating an application, the next step is to configure your application. You have to choose among the available cartridges which is suitable for your application and go ahead. The third step is code and push. By now, a repository has been created for your application on a cloud platform. So you need to push your code into the repository. So deploy the code and push the code and go ahead. Fourth step is to build your application. OpenShift automates this process with the help of tools like Maven, Jenkins and Apache. And fifth one is to scale. In future, if you need to scale your application, that option is provided by OpenShift. It deploys a load balancer which will horizontally scale your application. In this video, we'll explore more on OpenShift Online. In order to access this application, we need to click on Sign Up for Free. A normal sign up form will be appearing. So give your email address associated with any of the accounts like Gmail, Yahoo or Red Hat. Give a password, confirm the password and type in the letters or the digits which you see here and click on sign up. So once you click sign up here, it will take you to the sign in page and ask you to sign in again with the information you provided during sign up. I have my account, so I'll sign in through that. And click on sign in. So we'll be taken to OpenShift welcome page. Here they have listed the functionalities provided by OpenShift. You can choose a web framework like PHP, Python, etc. in which you want to code your application. Add cartridges. Cartridges are basically the functionalities to run applications like any of the servers or cache, and you can upload your code to OpenShift via Git. Before you create your first application, you need to set a public key for your application. So go to settings. So here you need to add public keys. Using private public key pair is an effective way of securing SSH access to cloud server, and for that purpose, in order to generate a public key, we are going to use one more tool called puttygen. So you can download this tool puttygen from puttygen download website, and you can see this screen. Here, once you get this, you need to click on generate and draw some random pattern in this space. So based on the pattern you draw, it will create a random public key. If you stop, it will stop generating the key. So you need to continuously draw pattern. Once the key is generated, this is your public key generated. So give a key passphrase in order to make your applications more secure. And once all the fields are filled, save your private key in any of the, so I'll say private key, and similarly save your public key for future reference. And then this is done. You need to add the public key generated to here. Copy paste your public key here and say save. So a new public key is added. So you can add any number of public key by saying add new. Now go back to our applications and let's create a new application now. OpenShift Online provides disk spaces, CPU resources, network connectivity, and Apache or JBoss server to create, deploy, and manage applications in cloud platform. It will also generate a limited DNS to access applications online. So you can see I have chosen PHP 5.4 cartridge. Once you'll be asked our domain name, you can give, I have given MSIT app, and RH Cloud is the default one. It stands for Red Hat Cloud, and give any of the name you want to give to your application. Source code, it's optional URL, because whatever the code you save and push, that will be saved in a Git repository. If you provide a URL, it will get saved in that particular URL. Then for your free package, you have only gets small. Gets are basically resource constrained container for application code where the cartridges run. So small gets provide around 512 MB of RAM, 100 MB of swap space, and 1 GB disk space. If you apply for higher packages with pricing, then you can get medium and large gets. Medium gets are for 1 GB MB of RAM, 100 MB of swap space, and 1 GB of disk space. So cartridge I have already chosen. And then scaling, it provides, the default is no scaling. If you provide scaling, then it will set up a load balancer for your application. And region, you can choose any one of them. I say no preference, and you can create your first application. Now you can see your application is listed under applications. Once you go into this application, you will get an URL which can be used to access your application online. Now, in order to make changes to the application, you will need a remote access. So, in order to get the remote access, click on want to log into your application. It will provide you an URL. For this purpose, we are using one more tool called as winscp. winscp, or Windows Secure Copy, is an open source secure FTP client for Windows. It allows secure file transfer between client's local computer and remote server. winscp uses cryptographic methods integrated in SSH to protect your login details and private info. In order to download winscp, visit this site and go to downloads. So you can download the installation package here. Now coming back to our application, copy this URL and go to winscp tool. Provide a host name. Paste that URL into this field, and whenever you click username, this automatically gets updated. Remove the SSH part and give your OpenShift sign-in password. Then go to advanced and your authentication and supply the private key which you provided in your OpenShift account. You had saved it that time as private key PPK. Okay. Say OK. Save the changes. Give any host name. And log in. It is authenticating your account in order to provide you a secure file transfer. So now I have my index PHP which I coded and I want to deploy it into the cloud. So I right click here and say upload. It will give me the path. There's one in default index.php provided by the repository. I try to override it, yes. And now it's uploaded. So once the uploaded, you can see your application in my application.msrt.rh cloud. If I access this application, you'll get the PHP font validation example which I coded.
Hello everyone, I'm Abhishek Kashyap and today I'll be talking about OpenShift and the applications which I'm going to be deploying in the OpenShift. OpenShift is a platform which can be used to host cloud applications, and OpenShift comes in three versions, that is the public cloud, the enterprise cloud and the community cloud. As you can see, this is the home page of the OpenShift, that is www.openshift.com. And the public cloud, that is public PaaS, can be used by everyone, which is completely free of cost. And the enterprise cloud, which is private PaaS, is used extensively by the enterprise application developers. And also at last we have the community cloud, which is also called Origin, that is OpenShift Origin, wherein we have a chance to give back something to the community or the open source. So OpenShift not only supports one or two languages, it supports many programming languages. It supports Java, JavaScript and some of the scripting languages like Python, Perl, PHP, Ruby and many others. Today I'll be demonstrating how to host Apache Tomcat server in OpenShift Cloud and also show or demonstrate how to connect MongoDB to the application which I've created. So let's get started. Let me navigate to the application section, and here you can see all the possible applications which can be deployed in OpenShift. And I'm going to choose Tomcat 7, and it asks for a name of the application which I'm going to give it as Xmas Card Manager, and I already have a domain name so I don't need to create it again and again. I'm just going to give create application, and once this is done we can see that the application which I created is shown in the applications page. And now in NetBeans, I'm going to add the cloud, that is OpenShift Red Hat Cloud, to my list of clouds. I'm going to give the same username and the password which I used to authenticate the OpenShift account. And after giving finish, we can see that the OpenShift by Red Hat is shown in the cloud section. You can either see, refresh, remove or see the properties of that application. And also in the server section, OpenShift by Red Hat is shown. And if we click on the expansion button, we can see that the application, that is XMS Card Manager, can be seen. Please be a little patient. Yeah, XMS Card Manager is shown. We can either view the application or git sources. Getting the sources means we can pull the code directly from the Git repository. Since I already have a Git account, that is Git repository, the Git URL pops up and we just need to copy paste it. And authentication of account can be done using public and private keys, which I'm going to be demonstrating in the next part of the video. So I'll just give cancel as of now. And now if I view the application will open in the default browser, which is Chrome in my case. And this is the default page of the Apache Tomcat server, which is created in the cloud. And once we are in the application, that is, we can change the code or modify this code and modify the application like we want. And now I'm going to create a new application in the NetBeans, and the name, I'm just going to name it as thank you note manager. And once this is done, on the bottom of the screen you can see there are two options: choosing a cartridge and also choosing embedded cartridges. Cartridges are additional functionalities which can be added to the application. So functionalities like the database which we are using, or the language, the programming language which we are going to use in developing the application. I'm just going to use MongoDB in this case, show how we can integrate MongoDB to the application and host it in the clouds. I'll just give finish, and on the bottom of the page we can see that the application is getting created. The progress can be checked in the progress bar, that is the progress title bar. And once the cartridge is being added, next there is the embedded cartridge, that is the MongoDB 2.4 is being added. Please be patient, this may take a little while. And once this is done, it shows that the process is completed and the time and date is also mentioned respectively. I'll just try to refresh the application, and this time we have to see that the thank you note manager application which I created with the embedded cartridge MongoDB being reflected in the OpenShift by Red Hat successfully. So this shows that we have successfully integrated the MongoDB to the application. So again, getting the sources can be done using the Git repository. In this part of the video, I'm going to be creating a Python application and also show how to authenticate it using winscp tool. So I'll click create a new application, and it's going to show the list of applications which can be created. And here I'll navigate to the Python section, and we can see some of the Python applications which can be created. And these are not the only applications which are supportable in OpenShift. If you click on the see all link here, it takes you to this page where the description of each application is given. Each rectangular box shows the Python application which can be created, and inside this rectangular box there's a small description of the application given, and also the possible modules which can be added to that particular application. I'm going to choose Python 2.6 and I'll name it as Python, and this time I've changed the domain to allmyapps here.rhcloud.com, and I'll give create application. This might take a little while, so let us create a pair of keys, that is public and private keys, using a tool called puttygen, which is used to authenticate the account if the application user wants to access the application in a remote mode. So like Meghna explained before, puttygen is a tool which is used to create public and private keys. And in the below we can see that it's given an option to select the type of key to generate, and the default one is SSH to RSA. RSA is an asymmetric public key crypto system, which means that the key which is used to authenticate the two end users are not the same. That is, we use two different keys, one is public key and private key, to authenticate the user. And also there's an option to select the number of bits to be generated in a key. I'm going to leave it as default, which is 2048, and it is also mandatory that the key, that is the number of bits in a key, should always be a power of 2. It can be 1024 or 2048 or 512 and so on. But it is required that the size of key is at least 1024 bits. So it is practically uncrackable. I'll try to create a key, and I'll just have to move my pointer in this white space. So based on this pattern, it's going to create a key. And once this is done, the public key and private key are generated. I'm going to save the private key and name it as Python private. And now if we go back to the browser and if we navigate to the application page, we can see that the Python application is being created. And I'll go to the settings to add my newly created public key. I already have a list of public keys, but since I don't have the corresponding private key, I cannot use any one of them. So I'll choose this option, add a new key. And you will have to give a name for your key. I'll name it as Python. And also copy the public key which is generated using puttygen and paste in this box, text box. And click on create. So it shows that your new public key has been created. So now I can use this key, that is private key, Python private, to authenticate my account. So in the applications page, I'll navigate to the Python application which I've just created. And down below you can see that the databases, that is the additional cartridges which can be added. We have MongoDB, we have MySQL and also PostgreSQL. I'll try to add MySQL to this application and just click on add cartridge. This might take a little while because anything which I have done in this application now will be reflected in the cloud as soon as it is done. So please be patient. So it shows that the MySQL 5.5 database has been successfully added to the application Python. And now I'll try to log into the application using remote access. So here you have to click on to this link, want to log in into your application. It gives you the public key of this website. That is the tool which I'm using. I'll not be needing this puttygen anymore. So winscp is a tool which I'm going to be using to log into the application. I'll try to paste the URL which I copied from the browser and try to remove this SSH part. And password is the same password which I used to authenticate my OpenShift account. And in the advanced section, I'll navigate to the authentication, and then here we have an option to choose the private key file. I'll choose the one which I created right now, that is Python private. And once this is done, click on OK and then save the changes which you have made and try to log into your application. It gives you some warning, just click on yes. So now a secured connection has been established from the local system, that is my Windows system, to the server. And here you can see the directories which is available in your server. Navigate to AppRoot and repo. So all the code of your application which needs to be shown can be pasted to this repo section, and that will be immediately reflected in your application. And now back to the applications page. If you click on this link of the application, you can see that the default page for the Python application has been created. And this will be all, and thank you for watching the video.